Profitable Diwali. This is TV18 and you're watching CNBC TV18.
Media partner CNBC TV18.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.
The premier knowledge and networking platform India Retail Forum was back this year, bigger and better, attracting the finest minds in the retail industry. Ushering the golden age of retail. With this dynamic theme, India Retail Forum 2014 sparked a two-day exchange, bringing the best of convention and innovation to capture the modern customers' minds and hearts.
It's very interesting that across the world, a lot of people are talking about the destruction of retail, and actually we believe it's about the golden era of retail, because through this online retailing there's a new opportunity for retailers who understand merchandising, retailing, consumers, to reach out to many more consumers than just through physical stores. The idea of India Retail Forum is to catalyze the growth of modern retail in India. Indian consumer is growing, evolving, consumption is growing, and I think modern retail is well poised to really capture that growth and really serve this new generation consumer who's looking at new products and new ideas and new merchandise.
Retail goes beyond understanding the needs of the customer today. It is about forecasting their needs tomorrow. The inaugural panel discussion at IRF 2014 had retail titans give a bird's eye view of concepts and technologies.
If I was to summarize what are the major changes in the Indian consumer, I would say, first of all, he has more money, but he has less time. Another important thing is that he has become a multitasker. So, he's not doing one thing at a time. He's continuously doing many things.
This is a very assertive consumer. He's not shy, he's not a follower, or she's not a follower. They have very fixed ideas.
How do you drive stickiness in a medium where rather than walking a few steps, you just press two keys or one click and you move to another store? The cost of switching is super low. I think the key is to have a very clear USP. At least for us, what we've always fixated on is create certainty of availability of products and services at best prices for consumers. Because you can't be everything to everyone, but you can try to be many things to most people.
One good assumption to have is we are entering into a world of perfect information. So when you put that lens on, then loyalty, in my opinion, the way I would think of consumer loyalty is, the second assumption should be that customers would only shop at your place until the very point they find a better experience elsewhere.
The discussion leaned towards the role of e-commerce and omni-channel retail, redefining the conventional brick-and-mortar model.
So I think, in my opinion, the way you build loyalty is by earning long-term customer trust.
Definitely online sales is impacting us, is impacting the rooms part of it. So 8% of the business is coming in from the website. However, online revenues may be as high as 35 to 40%, because the way business-to-business transactions take place, they take place entirely in the online space now.
Big catalyst for that is mobile commerce. The other is the growth in mobile internet penetration. And the third is, I think, with the amount of advertising around e-commerce that we are seeing, it's definitely helped to evangelize and build trust in consumers' mind that, hey, if I give my money to these guys, it's going to be safe.
The way the consumer is evolving, and if you are going to be serious about catering to those needs, and if the assortment strategy is going to be what is going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years from now, my worry is the fact that, maybe we're going to be too short on space in the retail stores.
It also threw open interesting experiences and anecdotes.
Chanakipuri was selling more premium champagne than any other place in the entire country. So more Dom Perignon and Crystal was being poured there than elsewhere. So I asked them, I said, all right, let's go deeper into it and see who's drinking it, which is the single largest segment that's ordering it. To our surprise, we found that the single largest segment was ladies under the age of 35. Under the age of 35 ladies. Were they paying for it? No, Sam, they were not paying for it. Somebody else was paying for it.
That was the trick.
But anyway, they were ordering it and it was being served to them.
At one point, me and my co-founder Rohit, we were down to 26,000 rupees in our bank accounts. This was about 4 years ago. All of our savings had gone into the company. As of last January, we had only $100,000 left in the bank.
How many of you have less than 26,000 in your bank account? All of you can actually become Snapdeal. Clap for yourself.
The two key takeaways for me was, one, the prominence in the conversation of online retail. Right? Every other point or question was about online retail and how the new companies are bringing in this revolution and how the older companies or the traditional retailers are adapting to that revolution. And the second point was how the role of technology is going to play a very significant will be a very significant player in the success or failure of businesses in retail in general, whether they're online or offline.
As long as we focus on obsessing about customers, building something that they find extremely convenient, as I talked about selection, pricing, delivery experience are three things I can think of that would not change for the many decades out there. So as long as we continue to make investments in those areas, no matter how the world pans out, the dividends would be yielded for the coming years and decades.
What's the secret behind IKEA's success? CEO of the news-making furniture retail chain revealed their concept of democratic design and the brand synergy with Destination India.
In IKEA, we are committed to have 50% women in all the positions at all levels. We are 43 today because we are pretty much building emotions and feelings and dreams at affordable prices, which is something that we consider key for the long term in this combination offline-online. Over the coming 100 years, 200 years, India is going to be better, bigger, richer, safer. We agree, of course, that this is going to happen, and this is pretty much the way we work in IKEA. We are an extremely long-term oriented company, and we believe that India is long-term extremely important market in the world. And then when we have done home visits, we can see that we can, with our range, we can help to create a better life for many Indian people in Indian homes.
Diwali is the most auspicious time to buy whatever your heart desires. If you're confused about which car or bike to buy, then tune into Overdrive's Diwali special and we'll make your life easier for you. On Storyboard, we explore if festive shopping is moving online and how brick-and-mortar stores will handle that challenge. On the Young Tech Diwali special, we focus on entrepreneurs who believe that the business of business is not just business.
Catch CNBC TV18's Diwali specials presented by Toshiba at these times.
Presented by Toshiba, Human Smart Community by Lifenology. Powered by Murugappa, Bet We Have Met. In association with Manyavar, Ye Diwali Roshan Aap Hi Se.
You won't see it, but inside Delhi's metro trains in India, Mitsubishi Electric's equipment for rail cars is working. Our various products are highly efficient at saving energy and reducing CO2 emissions. Also in New York City and all around the world. Mitsubishi Electric's technologies are working to make sure trains of the future are easy on our environment. Mitsubishi Electric.
Working 9 to 5, but first 5 to 9. Putting in a few hours more for a few seconds less. That time between dreaming and creating. And the 25th hour is made. And while the world may say there are only so many minutes in a day, there are few who know better.
आइए गांधी जी के दिखाए रास्ते पर चलें
और एक स्वच्छ भारत की रचना करें। स्वच्छ भारत, एक कदम स्वच्छता की ओर।
Kids will love it and parents will love it even more. NSE Financial Quest Season 4, powered by Cnbc TV18, an investor education initiative by NSE IPFT. India's first financial literacy program for 8th and 9th grade students. Coming soon on Cnbc TV18.
Presented by National Stock Exchange.
Children are not afraid of the dark, it's adults that are afraid of the light. So this Diwali, may the light shine brightly upon you and yours, bringing wisdom, compassion and joy.
CNBC TV18 wishes you a profitable Diwali.
India Retail Forum 2014 offered an ideal destination for exhibitors to showcase their brands. It gave them an opportunity to network, collaborate and give their existing business model a head start.
Virtus Retail has a portfolio of 7 million square feet under development across India's major cities, and we think therefore it's very important to push the envelope in terms of development, design, creation of spaces that is lends itself to public art, performing arts, theatre, music, and our cities have so much content culturally that we think it'll be a mistake not to celebrate the heritage of these cities. So we're quite pleased with the forum, our participation, and we hope that it will go from strength to strength year on year.
True to the forum theme, the brands displayed contemporary and visionary concepts, engaging a host of delegates.
So the retail support group actually was conceptualized and started in the year 2004, which actually started off as one company and then very rapidly emerged into 4 companies.
We know what retailers are looking forward to and what the gaps are in the current market, and we as a part of the retail support group wants to bridge in those gaps and deliver to the retail clients end-to-end solutions so that they can focus more on their business and deliver results for the end customer, which is there.
I come from France, okay, and I joined the team here, and I'm very surprised to see how much the level of professionalism is appearing here, and how much I am learning from the different experience we can listen. You know, watching the different booth, or listening to the different conferences, where I'm very impressed by the quality of the people which are communicating.
Meanwhile, the panel discussions unfolded to cover a wide gamut of topics.
Our agenda is to create shareholder value, and I believe in India, to be able to do that, you need to have an agenda that has both ambition but also compassion. Both elements are important, ambition and compassion. And I think what you talked about, given the change in the environment and the unique challenges in India, I think one has to constantly innovate. And by innovation, I mean it is about doing different things and doing things differently.
Leading CEOs shared their mantras on reinventing their business to stay on top of the game.
And so we created a new concept. It's frankly a new concept, I think almost worldwide, of creating pop-ups that were not there for a weekend, but actually were for a season. So last season we brought in a brand from Goa, a Greek brand, and this season we brought in one of our own brands. And these pop-ups have really energized our business. When we brought in the new brand, business went up 2.5 times in the first month.
We work at 2 levels and work deeply at both these levels. One is with the retailers. The retailers are the ones who understand their business very well, who understand how to get the consumer into the malls. And we not only work with them by making our malls and retail experience absolutely safe but also sustainable and creating the customer delight. At the same time, we cannot close our eyes to the consumer.
What we are trying to do is not build better malls than anybody else. I think we're trying to have a completely differentiated product. We have one existing center in Surat. We're building another 6 centers. The theme, the underlying theme is connecting communities. And that's what we're trying to do. You engage with retailers, you engage with consumers, but overall, if you don't connect with the community you live and are surrounded by, we believe there will be no connect. And ultimately, the mall will not succeed.
Some of the most admired names in the industry shared their vision on doing things differently in the 21st century to take their business to the next level.
And all of this came in at cost of something. So there was theory of displacement that happened, but at core there was always food being cooked. That was never compromised.
So it's very important to understand, and I think the challenge is very similar when we have stores. I mean, if I'm selling in Chennai, it's very important for me to understand that in Chennai I can sell a lot of white men's shoes, I can't sell white women's shoes. In Punjab I have to sell 14 colors for women. In Calcutta the same shoe I have to sell a 2-inch heel. In Bangalore the same style I sell in a 4-inch heel. So it's very, very important for any retailer to understand his consumer.
That's how we came up with the concept of being human. I thought there was no other brand in this country which had the USPs that we had. It's celebrity, fashion, charity, all put together. As a brand today, we are available with standalone stores. We have franchisee model. We are available on all the e-commerce major players. We are also tying up with like-minded brands who want to contribute, like Suzuki. We are one of the first few Indian homegrown brands which is selling across 16 nations as on today in such a short period.
The ideal that I see in my vision, when I dream this way, right, is a mom placing an order on her iPad, getting into the car, and one of the kids goes, "Oops, I didn't want the Whopper, I want the Whopper with the cheese," and she quickly picks up the phone and she's able to connect to that order, put cheese on that Whopper.
Well, I think the major takeaways are very clear that the entire retail industry and the real estate fraternity is very focused on the consumer. I think it is as we go forward and we have a fair amount of digitization that happens, it will have to be a seamless experience for the consumer, whether it is brick or mortar or retail. And out of that experience, one will have to evolve the business models which are a win-win for all.
I think the biggest change that is happening is with the consumer. Consumers are expecting a lot more, they're expecting a lot better. So I don't think there's one particular change that one can highlight or focus on, but because there have been so many changes, that has become key, rather than sort of one key change.
Today, especially relevant to restaurants, each one has become a person with a smartphone has become a critic. They can post the photo of dish they had, they can comment on their experience, they can so not only there are experts or bloggers or food critics who would critique what you have created, it is a normal person who's got that power.
The conferences were aptly punctuated with the right pause. The world's only silent motivational speaker, Steve Barnett, who has not spoken to hundreds of groups in over 20 countries and not spoken on the same podiums as Nelson Mandela and Bill Clinton, led the delegates to an unexpected high.
It's the most auspicious time of the season, and it's time to welcome another year of wealth and prosperity.
Watch Muhurat Trading and all the excitement in the markets this festive season only on CNBC TV18.
Catch the Diwali market specials presented by IRB at these times.
Presented by IRB Infrastructure Developers Limited, Highway to Growth. Powered by Murugappa. Bet we have met. In association with Toshiba, Human Smart Community by Lifenology, and Manyavar, Ye Diwali Roshan Aap Hi Se.
What is this?
This, sweetheart, is your new LED TV.
But
खाम खा इतना खर्चा क्यों करना?
ये लोन ले लेंगे।
ये लोन का झंझट में नहीं पड़ना यार।
यहाँ चलते हैं। नो झंझट।
मुथूट फाइनेंस। मुथूट फाइनेंस कंज्यूमर लोन। हर चीज के लिए लोन। नो इनकम प्रूफ यानी नो झंझट। लोन फटाफट। Give a missed call at 1-800-120-2838.
Tata Crucible Business Quiz begins the second decade.
Lovely!
A quizzing format like never before.
Identify this household brand name in India. Sai Mitra.
Hamdard. Hakim Hafiz Abdul Majid.
Recognize the gentleman as if he's his neighbor. Hyderabad simply raising the bar.
Watch Big Brain Quiz Hyderabad like a storm at these times.
Weekends. They are so exciting because Dad takes me out to watch a game of polo. He's the best on the field. And his team always wins. But after the game, I always find him with a rival team. I realized that my dad has many opponents, but not a single enemy.
हम दिल्ली वाले हम पूरे दिल से सब कहते हैं कि हम सिर्फ हाथों से बात अब नहीं करेंगे करेंगे तो सिर्फ ओनली रातों से बात ठोक देंगे
तो दिल्ली वालों अपनी फुटबॉल टीम दिल्ली डायनामोस के कारनामोस के लिए तैयार हो जाइए
ठोक देंगे.
Every quarter, India's most powerful business leaders attend one meeting. When numbers do the talking and investors become the jury, where top analysts and companies choose to speak first on Cnbc TV18. Catch this earnings season on India's #1 business news channel. Cnbc TV18. Follow the leader.
Powered by BSE Investors Protection Fund.
The panels gained momentum with a special feature presentation, The Oscars of Management Thinking, where industry thought leaders shared insights on innovation, building scale and globalization. Strategies for successfully implementing the concept of inclusive development of retail industry were shared.
The model where you have online grocers is definitely catching up, but maybe it has not reached a stage where we can really say that it is threatening the offline model. So the offline model, because of its experiential leanings and because of the fact, the consumer has to go and see and smell and feel anything which is new before you make a consumer decision. So it was quite evident that online is definitely catching up, but there's still some way to go before, we know which way the trend will.
The outcome is very clear. The opportunity exists in both places. There will be some categories which can perform very well in e-commerce. There is a market expansion which is happening. Everybody everybody can have a choice, and everybody can look at taking a share of the bigger pie that is getting created in India. Ultimately, it's all about experience, right? And an experience inside the store, experience on an online environment, and the experience is really being created by convenience. The experience is being created by the quality of products you have, the range you have, the assortment that you have.
The discussions drew to an eloquent close with an exclusive tete-a-tete with the doyen of modern retail, none other than Kishore Biani.
I am excited about the new play of retail, and I am excited to compete with e-commerce players. So we are launching something probably on October 1st. Some big event which we are doing, which we have never done before. I believe that will give a good run to all the e-commerce companies here.
You've not stayed away from technology either, but you've used it as a via medium. Now my question to you is that before we got onto the stage, you told me I'm going to come up with something that's going to get all of these people rethinking about what e-commerce truly is. Why don't you let out the secret?
We have a strategy on omnichannel which will help us to reach the consumers which we can't reach through physical stores. So we are going to extend our stores through technology. We are working on a Big Bazaar direct model in creating agents in every pin code of India, which will help in doing assisted e-commerce. So we have a whole plan which we are working on. That's a plan which will take a little while to get into the depth and the breadth of the country. We have the products. All our stores will have a universal stock. They can become warehouses to deliver goods. So we have a big plan around using technology to do business. We've tied up with IIT Media Labs to build new technologies for us, creating a new supermarket trolley, working on augmented realities, working on Google Glass, multiple technologies. So I think technology is not domain of very few people. Everybody can access technology. Technologies are available off the shelf. It's how you use technology is going to be more important.
The two-day brisk exchange called for the retail honchos to let their hair down. An eclectic artist performance left the delegates enthralled, setting the stage for the celebrated Images Retail Awards. With brands like Naturals, Domino's Pizza, PVR Cinemas, GKB Opticals and Tata Group taking the center stage, the awards evening brought India Retail Forum 2014 to a glittering closure.
Most admired retail professional of the year goes to Kabir Lumba.
Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.
Media partner CNBC TV18.